Shavua Tov, Agot Tevoch, as we are entering the last week of the year. One more time, a Baal Shem Tov story, or stories of Baal Shem Tov for Motzei Shabbos. It is said that Rosh Hashanah was a special time for the Baal Shem Tov, in which, other than reciting Tehillim and the prayers and deep words of kavanah and concentration, nothing came out of his mouth. He didn't engage in conversation with people. It was a very deep time. His face, he would change, and he would be facing the Yom Hadin, the Day of Judgment, with a deep, deep thought. I saw a story, a short story in Shibche Baal Shem Tov, which I have here, that said that once Rabbi Yaakov Yosef of Polonai, who put together the Shibche Baal Shem Tov, who was the Rav of the Beis Din of the community of Roshkov, told the story that once the Malachim, the angels, came to the Baal Shem Tov and asked him, "Why are you silent? Why do you keep quiet?" The Rav of the Kehila of Roshkov does not have parnasa. In other words, yes, there is such a thing as being quiet and being silent and taking, well, the coming days with great seriousness, but not to the point that you will forget to pray for your fellow Jews and be concerned about their well-being, especially in this year with all the things we have gone through. I don't know that that is the meaning of the story, but that's how I read it. There are many stories about the Baal Shem Tov. This was a very short one. I did see one in another book about there was a young couple that had been working. They were both of them, or each of them in the village, were orphans, had no family, had been working for somebody for quite a while, and he made a shidduch between two of them. They were both helpers, I guess. And having no family, they tried to put together a wedding, and somebody in town gave enough money for them to basically put the wedding together. And they were going to have a very humble, very poor wedding, since they had nobody in either side of the family. Came to town the Baal Shem Tov with Hasidim, and the Hasidim came and said, "I come from the side of the Chasson, I am a relative of the Chasson, of the groom." Another one says, I come from the side of the Kala, I'm a relative of the Kala. So they all came, and basically the Hasidim of the Baal Shem Tov put together a nice wedding, and took them to the chuppah, so they would have a minyan, and dance and celebrated, and gave them a great simcha. And the Baal Shem Tov pointed at the whole town, at the house of the Poritz, the Polish nobleman who, I guess, owned the land and rented it out to these Jews. And he said to him a bracha for the parnasa for this whole thing. Within the first year of the wedding, one night, somebody knocked desperately at the door of this young man who had just gotten married. And it was a driver, non-Jewish coach driver, who said that he was driving in the way nearby, and the carriage got stuck in the mud, and the son of the Poritz fell in the mud, and with the ice on top of him, whatever, and he cannot pull him out, and he desperately needs help, cannot pull him out. So the young man took a tool, whatever, and ran out from his house in the middle of the night and dug out this poor boy and took him out and saved his life. And he called for help from a few people in town, that they were able to pull out the carriage from the mud. They took the boy to, I guess, to a doctor who found that if he would rest for a few days, he would get better. He would survive this ordeal. By the next day, the Politz calls for this young Jew because he saved his son's life. He heard the whole story, and had he not run out of his house and dug him out, he would not have lived. And the Politz is having like a Seuda Soda, or however they call it, a big meal to celebrate the miracle that his son is alive. And he invited all his fellow Politzes from all the area, from all the region. So the Politz says, I'm so thankful, I will give you a house. Another Politz says, well, I'm very thankful you saved his son, and I'll give you the land next to the town. And the other Politz gave him something else, and before he knows it, he's basically on land, houses, a place where to live. He has everything the Baal Shem Tov pointed out and gave him a bracha to have. And so it was the bracha of the Baal Shem Tov that became a reality. And this is related to Rosh Hashanah, because it's when we are going to determine in our prayers, heaven is going to determine for us, Hashem will determine our destiny, our successes, our trials and tribulations, and what will happen to us with this year. We should have something from this bracha of the Baal Shem Tov, that this should be a better year, a year of blessings and success, and despite whatever problems we've had in the past, this should be a year of completion and parnasa. We should not be silent when it comes to being concerned about others, and in merit of what we can do, we should also enjoy all the blessings for this new year. Shana Toiva Umesuka, a good and sweet year.